Alright guys, so I got some baby chicks, and here are some tips if you're gonna get baby chicks that will really help you out. The first tip is that the baby chicks or any chicken, they love tomatoes. They don't like the skins of them, they just like the liquid and the seeds inside. But they also love those crickets that you'll find in your basement. They like mealworms. But make sure if you're giving them regular worms, like if you have a garden, like make sure that if you're giving them regular worms, to put just a few drops, 1 or 2 drops of apple cider vinegar in their water. And that supposedly will help fight the diseases and stuff like that so that they don't get diseases. Another thing that you might want to know is that don't let baby chickens or any type of chickens, whether they're grown or little babies, anywhere near tomato plants or the leaves, because the leaves and the tomatoes are not good for them. They're like poison. They're like dogs in chocolate. So you don't want to give them that. But they like the tomatoes once they're fully grown. Another thing is, if you want the chickens to be lap chickens too, you want to spend a lot of time with them, especially when they're babies, because that'll develop a relationship between you and them. So, another thing, I know this is a load of information, but another thing that you might like to know is if they're rolling around in the dirt and, kicking dirt all over themselves and stuff like that, it's most likely that they're just giving themselves a dust bath. Like, you know how chickens do that. Right now they're all picking at my pants. Another thing is you want to find good food for them, because the type of food you use really does matter. Something that I do often before I had this area form, we just had that little crate, is when they're babies, you can take, you know those baby gates? Well, you can get one of those and put one in your yard in the shade, depending on what type of year it is, and you can use it for them because they like a little bit more space. Another thing is, so here are my favorite chicken breeds so far. I like this one right here, the blue-laced Wyandotte, and they're supposedly not lap chickens, but she's actually one of the most friendly. Another one I like is this one right here, Sassy. She's very independent, but she loves people, and she's by far the smallest one. Another one I like is it actually has feathered feet, the Buff Brahma. Although it's going to grow up to be 10 pounds, it is very friendly. And if you bring them out in a baby gate, you make sure all the cracks in the sides are covered, that any crack that that are big enough for them to escape through. And you want to make sure that they don't get eaten. You wanna be with them the whole time they're in there, because there are some things that'll hunt them. So you wanna make sure that they're safe when they're in a baby gate area. Another thing is you wanna empty the bedding out of their crate and put new bedding in about three times a week, because they poop a lot. And yeah, they eat a lot too. And it was surprising to me at first, but they're really friendly, nice creatures that love to spend time with you if you raise them right. So I think that's mostly it on my tips. If you're going to raise chickens, I just have one more tip for you. Two more tips for you. And then I think that'll be it. The first tip is that when they're like a few weeks old, you want to keep them in a heat, like with a heat lamp, unless they're outside in the sun in the summer when it's really hot. And you want to cover their wherever they are. Give them some place that they can go when it's raining. Another thing is, if they peck at you or peck at the hairs on your legs, know that they're not pecking at you. They're pecking at the little dirt pieces at you, and they're trying to clean you. And my last piece of advice is that you want to wait till they're fully feathered to put them in the chicken coop. And I think that'll be it. I know that was a lot of information, but trust me, it's going to really help if you're going to get chickens. And I'll keep you updated on my chickens. They grow really fast. Here's a few things that I forgot to tell you when you get chickens. First is, when you get chickens, you want to get hens, not roosters, because hens are nicer and they lay the eggs. And if you get roosters, then the eggs might have chicks in them. Second is, they also, when they're fully feathered, that's when you want to start putting them in the coop. And you want to introduce them to the coops little by little. And when you put them in the coop, you don't want to let them in the nesting boxes until it's egg season. And I think that's about it.